Tom Brady on the talks of Patrick Mahomes passing him as the greatest of all time, also known as the GOAT. This is from the Pat McAfee Show. Let's get right into the video, shall we?
Michael Jordan now is the GOAT. Well, is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan? This is every day for some sports media. Every single day, this is some of it. So that's going to come with people tearing down Michael Jordan to either put up LeBron James or...
What's been interesting recently is that you have these people like Michael Jordan or Tom Brady now, and GOATs seem to be all over the place. And not even really GOATs, but as far as like top 10, top 20 players of all time. When I was younger, it was the same like 10, 20 players in all sports. Like the NFL, you always heard about the top 10 quarterbacks. It was always Marino, Elway, Joe Montana, Steve Young. It was always the same guys. Basketball, you always heard about Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Hakeem Olajuwon and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You heard about the same people. And then real fast across the entire sports landscape, there was just this influx of top 10, top 20 talent. I mean, all of a sudden now it's like, well, maybe Steph Curry's in there. Maybe LeBron James is in there. Maybe Kevin Durant's in there. People like that started getting thrown in. Then in football, the top 10 quarterback list has been completely shaken up. Completely shaken up with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, people like that, where the Elways and the Marinos and players like that have kind of taken a back seat. Is anybody really truly, do they really truly think that Joe Namath or Johnny Unitas is in the same world or the same breath as Peyton Manning, or the same world or the same breath as Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers? No, right? So with that comes a GOAT debate. With that comes, has there been a shakeup at the top? Brady, I think, is the most undisputed GOAT, greatest of all time in any sport. I mean, it's like him, Michael Phelps in swimming, Usain Bolt in track. Like, those are the ones where it's like, okay, Tiger Woods in golf. Like, we can say, okay, those are undisputed, unquestionable. I mean, Tom Brady's accolades, what he did, 7 Super Bowl championships, whatever it was, 14 straight division titles, all the trips to the conference championships, doing it with 2 teams. Unreal. Probably will never be matched. But he kind of does have the same thing that Jordan has, where Jordan has the 6 titles, all the accolades. But LeBron, people look at LeBron and they say, well, he's just a better player. He might not have the undefeated in the finals. He might not have the 6 rings. But on the court, you can make an argument he's better. Brady, kind of the same thing now, where Patrick Mahomes has arrived as, well, will Mahomes have 7 Super Bowl championships? I don't know about that. But on the field, he might be more special than Brady. I think that's kind of the conversation, or where people can take it. Because obviously, if you're looking at just accolades, there's no way you could possibly be like, yeah, Mahomes is definitely the greatest of all time. But he's still, he's not even halfway to Brady on Super Bowls.
Tear down LeBron James to put over Michael Jordan. It's starting to happen with Patrick Mahomes right now, where there's people saying, he's already greatest of all time, better than Tom Brady. Tom Brady wasn't able to blah, 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 blah. Do you appreciate that? Do you respect that? Do you hate that? How do you feel about the bullshit that kind of comes alongside of being Pat, the greatest of all time for the biggest league on earth, Tom?
Yeah, I think that there's nothing that Patrick can do, in my opinion, that takes away from what I tried to accomplish in my career. And there's nothing that I did can take away from what he's trying to accomplish. I feel like all I tried to be was the best I could be. And I didn't, even though I had sporting idols, like I said, I could never be Steve Young. I could never be Joe Montana. Those are the guys I could never be. Dan Marino or John Elway. These were my childhood idols. And they had incredible careers, and they put as much as they could into their career, and I really respect them for that. And I just tried to do the same thing. And believe me, if anybody can go out there and win 7 Super Bowls, I have so much respect for them. I understand how
it is. The greatest of all time conversation can take a lot of different avenues. Some people base it on stats. Some people base it on what you do individually, yards you rack up, touchdowns, things like that. And we're just talking about quarterbacks here. Some people base it on trophies. They base it on Super Bowls. If you didn't win Super Bowls, if you didn't win blank amount of Super Bowls, you can't be considered the GOAT. Other people kind of blend it. Some people think you have to have the awards, you have to have the stats, but you also have to have the physical performance. I kind of lean in that circle, like with LeBron and Jordan. Some people say, well, it's as easy as Michael has 6 championships, LeBron doesn't, so Michael has to be the GOAT. That's it. But then you ask them about Bill Russell, and they start to get a little wobbly in the knees. That argument can only go so far. Doug Williams has a Super Bowl. Does that make Doug Williams equal to Brett Favre, who has one Super Bowl? So, and obviously the answer is no, right? So, Trent Dilfer, who has a Super Bowl, is not the same as Aaron Rodgers. I think you can't just make it as simple as greatest of all time doesn't equal who has the most championships. That's a huge part of it. Same with MVPs. Greatest of all time doesn't equal who's got the most MVPs. So and like Pat talked about earlier, the sports shows love this topic because it is a never-ending topic. It will never, ever be solved. It will never, ever be finished. It will never, ever be quantified. You will always be able to go back to, is it Jordan or is it LeBron? Is it Brady or is it Mahomes? That's what they want. That's the whole point of the GOAT debate.
Difficult it is. I will congratulate them, and I'm going to, give whatever it is a big hug. I texted my friend who plays with Pat after the game, and I just said, tell him congrats. I mean, just awesome to watch him play, and I love watching him lead his team. And of all the things I love leadership, and I love people that are selfless. I hate selfish teammates. I don't like being around people that are self-serving and always trying to create their own self-serving narrative about who they are. I love teams. I love team sports. I love celebrating success with other people and the businesses I'm a part of, whether that's being a part of the Fox broadcast team. I know that I'm just playing one role. Whether it's being a part of Noble, I know I'm playing one role. I need a lot of other teammates to help me come in and be successful. And I embrace that. There's so many things I'm not.
I think Brady is far and away the best ever. I don't think we'll ever see another career like Tom Brady. And the thing with Brady, too, is that Brady was physically dominant. Brady's arm, Brady's accuracy, Brady's, arm power, his 2-minute drives, his all of that. He was there. He was as physically dominant of a quarterback as you could ask for. He wasn't running all over the place, but what is it? He's like the leading. Doesn't he have like 1,100 rushing yards or something like that in his career just from quarterback sneaks? He was the greatest quarterback sneaker of all time, if that's a term, sneaker. I just met her. Like I said, his arm power got better as time went on. Accuracy was untouchable. He made players around him so good. Mahomes is a little different because Mahomes is probably a little more athletic than Brady. But, people who always talk about, well, Brady couldn't have made this throw or Brady, didn't have the arm that Mahomes did or whatever. Brady, he wasn't Peyton Manning back there. He wasn't throwing ducks. He wasn't, a statue in the pocket as a Brady was different. Brady physically was just as good as the Patrick Mahomes. So he also has that. I think that's where LeBron kind of has an edge on Jordan, where Jordan was a very specific player, but LeBron has played all 5 positions. LeBron he's played for so long at such a high level. Now he's 40 years old and he was 2 years removed from leading the league in scoring. So I think LeBron does have a little bit more of the physical edge. Whereas I don't think Mahomes has that much of a physical edge. I would put Brady. I have Brady 1, and I probably would put Mahomes 2 right now. If he's not 2, he is right there. I always say 2 and 3 is Breeze and Peyton Manning. You kind of flip those 2 around. I have Breeze at 2, but Breeze has the Super Bowl title. He's got the accolades as far as the stats and the records and all of that. Breeze doesn't have the MVP, but I don't put too much on a voter award. I don't put too much on the MVP. Obviously they're good to have, but I don't think Breeze having or not having an MVP make or breaks his career. So if you're asking me if I think Patrick Mahomes is better than Drew Brees or better than Peyton Manning, I would say yes. I would rather have peak Patrick Mahomes for one game than peak Drew Brees or peak Peyton Manning. I think if you blend everything, Mahomes is there. I would rather have Brady at his peak of his powers to win a Super Bowl than Patrick Mahomes. So and Mahomes has a chance to this year. This has been a year where Mahomes really, really surprised me. And this was a very Tom Brady-esque year. This was a very Tom Brady-esque performance where this is by far the worst Chiefs offense, by far the worst supporting cast offensively Patrick Mahomes has had. Even Travis Kelce has not been that good this year. And Patrick Mahomes has just carried them, just drugged them to a Super Bowl. he's not dragging them to 10 wins. He's not dragging them to 11 wins. He's dragging them to a Super Bowl, road playoff wins. Just unbelievable. And yeah, he has a good defense, and Brady had good defenses in New England at times too. But if Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl and he's thrown to Rashid Rice and MVS or whoever's on the field, it reminds me so much of Tom Brady throwing to Deion Branch and whoever else is on the field. It just doesn't matter. Brady's just going to take what he's got and go win. There were so many years where I thought, oh, this is the Colts year. This is when Peyton Manning's going to win. This is when Peyton Manning's going to get the best out of Tom Brady. The best offense in the league, best wide receivers, whatever. And then all of a sudden, James White or somebody just goes nuts, and next thing you know, New England's holding the Lombardi. It's just crazy how inevitable these great players are, and Patrick Mahomes is becoming that, where he's just inevitable. You want parity in the NFL, and when Tom Brady was in New England, there wasn't parity. And Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, there's not parity. It's just the Chiefs and everybody else. It was the Patriots and everybody else. So they are incredibly similar in how they played and how they won and what they did for their teams. Mahomes has a long way to go to catch Brady. It starts in a couple hours with the Super Bowl performance.
Good at. And there's so many things I don't know. I get to be around people that are the best in the world at what they do, and I get to learn from them. So I see that it's just continuing to add to my own learnings and my growth, and I still have hopefully a long life ahead. We'll see how it goes, but I've enjoyed it to this point, and hopefully there's a great second chapter ahead.
Brady's something else too. And LeBron's kind of like this. Like LeBron, for being in the spotlight for so long, LeBron never really having a blemish, never really having a controversy, never really having, like, the worst thing LeBron's done in whatever 20 years is that people think he's kind of a goober. They think he's just kind of cringy or whatever. Brady, in the last decade or so, Brady has kind of created his persona and his personality, and he's shown a lot more of his personality, like the Super Bowl parade when he was loose as a goose off of avocado tequila after Tampa Bay. Like the commercials, and now he's doing Fox. Like, Brady's kind of transformed himself too, to where seemingly he's just a hell of a guy. Like, he's just a great guy, along with being the greatest quarterback to ever live. Like, Michael Jordan deals with a lot of negativity around him as a person. I've heard a ton of stories about how Jordan is not that great of a person. How Jordan is not an awesome person to be around, not ethically very strong. We won't get into the nitty gritty there, but with Brady, you don't really hear that. Brady seems to be pretty good guy. So it's always good to see that when you're talking about the greatest of all time. And Mahomes, I don't know, Mahomes, when you play as long as Brady and Jordan and people like that, Brady and LeBron, your personal life, your personality, who you are is just going to get out there. You can't be in the public eye for 20 years and not have the whole world know who you are. And that comes with great responsibility for sure. And Tom Brady seems to have handled it really well. So I think right now, yeah, Brady's the GOAT. And I think right now I'm very comfortable with saying Mahomes is number 2. And he's on his way. But let me know in the comments below who you got. Who is your GOAT? Do you think it's Brady? And how close is Mahomes? Is Mahomes number 2? Is he 3, 4? I'm sure he's top 5 by now, right? There's no way. I don't think there's any way someone could have Mahomes outside of the top 5 of greatest quarterback to ever live. And hopefully we see a lot more of Patrick Mahomes, because watching excellence and watching greatness, you can't take it for granted. Same with when we had Brady and Manning and Breeze on the field. Same thing now. Any chance you get to watch Patrick Mahomes or LeBron James or people like that, even Tiger Woods, you get a chance to see excellence and greatness. It is rare. It is rarefied air to have people like this around. So for us to have so many right now, even like in basketball, like I said, where Steph Curry plays 82 basketball games a year. People should count themselves lucky that there's so many top 10, top 20, however you want to phrase it, players in so many sports playing at this very moment. So it's a good time to be a sports fan, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the Super Bowl. Like I said, go down in the comments below. Let me know where you come down in this GOAT conversation. I will see you in the next video. Peace.